Good morning, everyone. It's May 23rd. We had, I think, probably 3 inches of rain last night. And I just wanted to take you through a quick kind of raw tour of the garden, kind of where it is right now. We're a little behind for the season, but let me show you how we're doing. So the first thing is just the whole garden just looks messy with sort of in construction stuff. Usually by this time of year, I have it pretty good, but let's start with the tomato tower. So we got these 10-foot EMT conduits. We did plant the tomatoes out, gosh, I don't remember the exact date, but they've been out not too long. They got in kind of the second part of May, but they're all looking pretty big already. So they're looking good. I haven't started training them to the 3 leads yet, but I'll be doing that soon, and then just kind of cleaning up some of these leaves that are all the way down on the ground. But that's how our tomatoes are looking. A couple mixed beds here. We've got basils. You can see the yellowing leaves. That's just because even though they were hardened off, those leaves were made indoors, and so they kind of got a little sunburned. And then I've got a few semi-determinate tomato plants that I'm going to have cages on. I don't have my mulch on here, but what I like for mulch is just this kind of partially composted leaves. That's what we'll have over the whole bed here. So just a bunch of basils, and I have some white petunias in there. And then over on this other side, we have some climbing plants, mostly butternut squash, and then a couple cucumbers that will come up this cattle panel. This is the first iteration of the tomato tower. Still standing, still doing okay, but I've got 4 eggplant here. These are all pretty big already. They were just planted, but they were in 3-gallon pots. I got a little space here. I'm gonna do pole beans up that way, and then just a couple basils here. This bed was basically all direct seeded, and in fact we probably need to come in and almost mow this whole thing down and then let it start to regrow. We've got cilantro. This is all dill, so we'll probably be harvesting that and maybe drying it. And then we've got our carrots are kind of along this edge here. I like the pelleted carrot seeds, so there's less thinning. We need to basically take all this lettuce and store it, and then it'll grow back. And then this mesclun mix is kind of like a spicy mix. Unfortunately, this one now is starting to bolt, so we probably will just take that out. And then I just have some volunteer foxgloves here. They self-seeded from the other foxgloves, and I let them grow kind of at the edge of this bed. This bed here, if you follow along, you may have seen this had all of our Asian greens. So it was full of Asian greens and lettuce. Now there's just one tatsoi there and a couple lettuces over there. But what it's going to end up being is just a bed with a few zucchini. I've got 3 zucchini here, and they get huge, so they'll fill out most of the bed, and then I'll probably just plop in a few more flowers around there. I've got these hoops here, so I'll get a cover on these because we're just getting to the point where the squash vine borer will come out, and we need some protection on those. These are brassicas. We've already harvested some. That's why we have some empty spots, and you can see right here, this one we'll probably take out today. Not sure if I can get my hand in there to kind of show how big that is, about as big as my head. So that looks really good. And then luckily we've got the other cauliflower. They're kind of filtering in. Some of these others are still pretty small. There is one in there. And then I think this is the purple variety, but they haven't really formed many heads there. So that's great. As far as broccoli, we've got some broccoli that's ready to go. We'll probably harvest that. And then if you look right here, this is broccoli we already harvested. And then we've got all these side shoots coming in as well. So same thing right here. We harvested right there. And then you still get a decent amount of side shoots. You don't get those side shoots on the cauliflower, however. Then we just got a few cabbage that were sort of tucked in here. This variety is Furrow. And then this one is early Jersey Wakefield. It's kind of that more conical one. But Brassica bed, it's actually coming in kind of early. So overall, this bed did well, and I'm actually going to be able to turn it over into a summer bed sooner than I usually do. 2 beds of onions here. These ones are all Patterson, so long storage onion. And then that one has a whole bunch of mixed onions. Onions are looking good, despite all of the rain. Luckily, they're in raised beds, so they're not floating away. But that's kind of where they are as far as size go. They're pretty tightly packed in here, but you can see they're starting to size up. We have about 6 inches or so between the onions in the rows, and then maybe a little bit more, 7 to 8 inches kind of between rows there. And then over this way, this is the other bed of onions. This one has a whole bunch of different kinds, including shallots. This conserver shallot really stored well for us last year, so we really liked it. And then you can see some of the purple onions here. You can see they're starting to color up a little bit down there. And then the white onions, we're starting to see some swelling of the bulb there. Those white ones are Sierra Blanca, and they are a medium day length onion, so we tend to get those to bulb up sooner. It looks like it's going to be an early garlic here. We've got all of our scapes. We got to get those off actually today, and you can see some yellowing of those leaves already. And so we'll probably be, we're just a few weeks from harvest here. One thing, depending on the rain, I don't like how much rain we're getting as we get to the end of the garlic. So I might actually put a cover over the top to basically keep so much moisture from happening in the bed. Starting to rain again, but let me see if I can get you through this quick tour. Strawberry beds, 2 24-foot strawberry beds. You can see we have been enjoying those, and then so have the robins and the chipmunks, but there's more than enough strawberries in there. We got the kale. This is the kale that actually got eaten initially by some little bunnies, but it's bounced back luckily. And strawberries, we've been pulling a ton of strawberries out here, kind of every day. Especially with the rain, it's important to kind of get them out because they will, start rotting if you don't pick them. Over here, this bed I did seed with corn, and then probably next week I'll seed it here. I like them to kind of mature at different rates. But before I just had like one big bed of corn, but it was hard to get into the middle. So I created a pathway. I still need to put wood chips there. And then I just use these old logs to kind of frame those slightly raised beds. We've got our snap peas here, sugar snap peas, and I actually took this cover off because initially I had that on so robins don't eat them, and instantly they came and ate them even though they're that big, so I might just leave that on there. Over here we've got all of our wine barrels, or I think they're whiskey barrels, with our blueberries. Those, a lot of them were planted this season. This is kind of a reset for those. And then I've got dahlias kind of tucked in all throughout here. Still need to get the paste tomatoes planted. It's definitely later than I would like, but that's kind of next on the list. These are going into all of the straw bales right here. Potatoes didn't really do that well this year. We planted them kind of early, and because we had so much heat in April, they really sprouted, but then we had a lot of 20-some degree days. Just a lot of dieback. I mean, they're coming back, but it's definitely not the best tomato year. Peppers, these ones are all the poblano type peppers. They're kind of our favorite type of pepper there. And there's actually a few we'll probably pull off the plant here soon. And these are mostly kind of developed indoors. But these will get pretty tall, so I need to get some sort of trellis on them. And then the other peppers are actually in a raised bed underneath a cover, so I'll show you that. So the other peppers are here underneath this fleece. I found kind of early season when it just doesn't have quite the warmth that peppers like. Here, how much rain is down here. that keeping them under a row cover makes a lot of sense. Let's see if I can get you a view underneath here, but it's so wet. So here we are. There's all of the peppers there. They are quite big already. This variety that you can see in front is mellow star shishito. I'll keep this cover on probably till June time frame, depending on how warm it gets. See some of the peach trees here. Despite not having peaches, they've kind of bounced back well. Not too much in the way of disease, despite the very wet conditions that we have. Apple trees, saddest thing of the season. You can see this one I've severely cut back. As you guys saw, I cut back 3 of them all the way to the ground due to fire blight. And then it's just been raining. You can see this one, I did not cut back enough. So you can see the fire blight right there. So I have to cut this branch way back as well. Hopefully I can get it under control and save this tree. Luckily, certain varieties, the only silver lining is I'm finding out which varieties are very resistant. And so like this Enterprise apple did not have much in the way of fire blight. And so hopefully I can kind of titrate the trees to be more, just kind of pick resistant varieties in the future. Figs, they are doing fine. Luckily, don't really have much in the way of disease. Really the only issue with figs is that they don't like the cold, so they're annoying in the winter time. But once they get out here, they're easy. We've got them in 25-gallon grow bags so that we can move them into the barn in the winter. And figs will actually produce a fig, on the old wood. We call it Brassica fig, but most of the better figs happen on this newer wood. And so in our climate, you do need to, in order to get a lot of figs, you need to protect them in the winter so that they kind of hit the ground running, and then you can get figs and ripe fruit. Luckily, despite the fire blight pressure, the pears are looking okay. My only concern is there's certain pears that are actually have some flowers on them. I might actually just take these flowers off because of how much fire blight is around. But surprisingly, the pears are doing okay. A lot of the plum trees, some of these are Asian plums that we don't have any reasonable expectation of getting fruit every year, but you can see they've put on a lot of growth. I'll probably summer prune these again. And then we also have pawpaw trees. It wasn't a good year for pawpaw trees, so I have 4 of them. And the problem was, again, that really warm April, and they leafed out, and then you can kind of see some of the dead leaves in there. They ended up dying back. Pawpaws take a long time to mature, but they like to be planted pretty close together. So hopefully in a few years we'll have big trees. These piles right here, there's a conditioned straw bale underneath there. You can see as they're conditioning, they compost down. You get a bunch of mushrooms and things, but I'm actually keeping space for these, and I'm going to plant my carving pumpkins here kind of in the orchard and let them crawl around. But I planted those too early last year. We ended up getting pumpkins really early. We also have something here in this underneath this cover, and that is, you can actually see we've already gotten to the top. They're trying to poke through. Those are the tomatillos, and they are big. They're probably 3-4 feet tall at this point. They have grown incredibly fast. Just like the peppers, I like to give them a little extra warmth in the early season by having a cover on them. Headed down this way, this is where a lot of the straw bales are. So I've got a whole row of straw bales here. Got straw bales underneath there. This has some cucumbers up front, some melons in the back. I just planted these. We actually already have a decent amount of growth on them. And part of the reason we get such fast growth on these is how warm the straw bales still are. Actually a little too warm, but so far it doesn't seem like the plants have minded too much. If you look right here, I've got a pumpkin plant, and it's in 97-degree straw bale. Now I do have a little soil ball in there, so it probably insulates that slightly, but for those in colder climates, the nice thing about straw bales is you can get the really warm weather plants in early, even if your soil hasn't heated up too much. Same thing here. These are all sweet potatoes. They're also in straw bales that are pretty warm, and then I haven't planted them out, but I've got straw bales under here. I think I'm gonna do some determinate tomatoes, and then I've got a couple melons that will kind of trail off the side. Down underneath this row cover, we've got the watermelon. Ooh, it's starting to rain a decent amount. And the watermelon are in straw bales, so warm roots plus a little extra warmth with the row cover. Let me see if I can get you underneath here to look at those. So we can see all of the mushrooms from the straw bales, and then the watermelon are looking pretty happy in there. Well, that's about it for the quick informal tour. Hopefully I will get things cleaned up and get the rest of the planting done, and then at some point I'll do a more detailed tour with kind of drone shots showing you kind of where everything is. But it's just starting to rain even more, so I guess it's time for me to go inside. Hopefully it stops, and hopefully it stops for you guys too. Happy gardening, everyone.